Alright, so assuming you already have data, the next thing we're going to want to do is to put this data into an Excel file so that way we can read it from Matlab. So before I do anything else, what I'm going to want to do is get started with Matlab, and I want to use Matlab 2014A. Alright, the reason we're doing this is that this one has several other toolboxes in it that the other version of Matlab on here does not. Now, the 2013A is great and will work offline. This one, 2014A, requires that you be connected to the internet through the cable. That's okay. Most of these toolboxes are also available on the cloud. Alright, so let's go ahead and start that up by double clicking on it. Once this comes up, you can go back to the Logger Pro. And then what we want to do now that we're in Logger Pro is try to start up Excel with a blank document, and you can see Matlab has popped up. I'm just going to minimize it for now. So let's, as I said, start Excel with a blank document. We'll see if it's starting or not. Okay, here it comes. Alright, and we just want a blank workbook. Alright, and we want to go to Logger Pro and identify what each of the columns means. So the first one is time, the next one is position 1. So let's make sure that we put that into Excel. So time in seconds, position 1 in meters, velocity 1 in meters per second, and then come back, see what else we've got. Acceleration 1, position 2, velocity 2, acceleration 2. That's what's going to be the rest of this. So let's fill that out the rest of the way. ACC 1, meters per second squared. Okay, I'm just leaving labels so that way I'm aware of what's going on. And so we'll have position 2, velocity 2, and acceleration 2. Okay, and I'm going to space these out appropriately just for my own sake. Alright, and then what I want to do is come into this data here in Logger Pro, and I can click on the upper left hand corner and click Control A. Alright, and you see what it does is it highlights all of the data. That means that I'm going to get all of the data. I'm going to do Control C, and then I'm going to come into Excel, click in cell A2 and do Control V, and you can see that now I have all of the data that I needed. So I can just go ahead and save this Excel file, and let's save it somewhere that we can find it. I'm going to save it to the desktop for now, just because that allows me to know where it is. I would prefer that you save it somewhere else so that way things don't get bogged down. Alright, so this is going to be two-cart Excel test. Alright, and more informative names are always appropriate, so make sure that you know what your data is and have it labeled appropriately. Write down also what each file means. So we're going to go ahead and hit save, and then we can actually close out of that and close out of Logger Pro because we're done with that for right now. And we want to come to Matlab, and we want to go to import data. Alright, and then we need to navigate to where our data was stored. In this case it was on the desktop, and we'll hit open, and then we'll see what we get from there. Okay, we can now see that this is here, and this is allowing us to select actual locations. So let's go ahead and make this a set of column vectors, which is what it's going to do, and go ahead and do import selection check mark. All right, and we can come back to this, or actually at this point we're almost done, so we can go ahead and hit close. All right, and now you see that I have the data that I might want saved. All right, and you can see that I can type whose. All right, whose is going to give me what things that I have, what variables I have, and their sizes. All right, so these are the names of the variables I have, as well as their sizes. They're 1201 by 1. All right, if you think about it, at 20 samples per second, for 60 seconds you would expect 1200 samples. The 1 comes from the fact that it also samples at 0. Okay, so what we actually are going to care about for this particular experiment is position 1 and times. Okay, so what I want to do then is type in save, and then I'm going to save things as a Matlab file, save variables that I want to take into my program, which I can operate on the R Cloud, and I'm going to go ahead and save cart example. So this needs to be one word or multiple words separated by underscores. All right, there's a character limit here, so don't get ridiculous. And then I'll type in the variables I want. So position 1M, position 2M, and times. All right, because like I said, I only care about the position for this experiment. If you wanted the velocity, acceleration, you can go ahead and save those as well. And so you can all hit enter. And you want to be very careful, by the way, that you know what your current folder is. So we could actually change this current folder to just documents, for example, and I'm going to hit save, and now that I've navigated to the right place, I'll hit enter, and you can see that now cartexample.mat has been saved in that location. Now if I want to get that data into my program on the R Cloud, sorry, I want to do clear all to make sure all my variables are out. If I want to get this thing into my workspace on the R Cloud, then I would use load cart example.mat, and we can only use load as long as we're in the same location as the file. But you can see that now in my workspace I have those 3 variables that I saved. All right, and that's really what you need to do to be able to get started processing this data.